This is Matthew Cratter from Trade University, and today I want to talk about the China Bitcoin mining ban and what it might mean for the whole network and the Bitcoin system. It's an interesting thing because among no coiners, clickbait journalists, and also altcoin promoters who want to tell you that Bitcoin wastes energy and is all based in China in order to get you to buy their crappy coins instead. There are these two narratives. The first one is it's really bad that so much Bitcoin mining takes place in China. China controls Bitcoin, this sort of thing. And then the flip side of that coin is it's really bad that China might be banning Bitcoin mining. So which one is it? This is the way that you don't do serious research. This is the way that you try to sell clickbait articles. If we go back, though, there has been a history of China bans. In fact, China has banned Bitcoin and reiterated its ban so many times that it's easy to lose track of. In spite of that, Bitcoin mining continues to happen in China. We'll see if this time is different, and we're going to talk about what might happen if Bitcoin is completely banned in China. But if we go back to this tweet from Wired back in December of 2013, China bans banks from doing business in Bitcoin. Another tweet from the same time, China from Bloomberg, China bans financial institutions from Bitcoin transactions. This, of course, this was 2013. A lot of Bitcoin stuff has happened in China since then. Here's another one from 2017. China tightens cryptocurrency ban with new directive. Chinese regulators have decided on a comprehensive ban on platforms. So this was more of an exchange ban. We have these bans that are put forward, reiterated. Here's a good summary of what has recently happened from CoinDesk, that the National Internet Finance Association of China, the China Banking Association, and the Payment and Clearing Association of China reiterated their stance on banning cryptocurrencies. And this does say that this ban, this note this was from last Tuesday on May 19th, this note confirms bans originally implemented in 2013 and 2017. This is a little bit like the United States and its marijuana ban, saying, by the way, it's illegal, and yet not doing anything about it. We'll see if this time is different. We did get another note this was an official statement that summarized a meeting of the Committee of China State Council. This note was put out on Friday, May 21st, and it reiterated that the government should be alert and look for potential risks, and we should crack down on Bitcoin mining. So we have this history of China banning Bitcoin mining, banning Bitcoin transactions, and yet nothing seems to really happen. Now, this time could be different. We don't really know. China is a fairly opaque place, and I have a difficult enough time figuring out what's happening in the United States, much less China. But let's take this to the extreme. Let's do a thought experiment, and let's assume that China completely bans all Bitcoin mining overnight and also bans all Bitcoin transactions, closes all the exchanges, etc. I'm going to focus here, though, on the Bitcoin mining piece because that is the one that's always trotted out as being more important. So let's assume China bans Bitcoin mining. And we do know that a significant percentage of the Bitcoin hash rate, the mining hash rate, comes from China. Now, it's a little bit misleading because there are Chinese mining pools that are open to anyone. I live in Colorado most of the time, though I'm traveling now. And I could mine Bitcoin from Colorado and join a Chinese mining pool. I would be contributing to that hash rate that's attributed to that Chinese mining pool, but it doesn't mean that I live in China or that I'm an agent of the Chinese Communist Party. But let's assume that China bans Bitcoin inside its borders. Let's assume that all Chinese miners comply immediately. Now, there's a strong incentive for local officials, for local Bitcoin mining operations to bribe local officials. These mining operations create a lot of money, they create a lot of jobs, etc. And so there's a chance that the miners don't comply. But let's assume Bitcoin mining is banned in China. All the miners comply and immediately unplug all their ASICs, which are the mining machines that are used for Bitcoin. These are very powerful, specialized computers. So what happens if all the Chinese miners unplug? The hash rate of the Bitcoin network immediately falls. This is the computing power. And then there's some slowdown in transaction speed as the network adjusts to this decline in hash rate. Now, what could certainly happen, because unlike gold miners or gold mining equipment, Bitcoin mining equipment is very easy to move around. You just put it on a truck or a bus or an airplane, and you can move it to a different country, to a different province, if that helps. And so what might happen is the miners might unplug for a week or so, relocate, and plug back in. Perhaps the borders are completely sealed and this mining equipment can't get out of China. In that case, the hash rate of Bitcoin, after falling, remains low for a while in terms of waiting for other miners to join from other countries. Now, there's what's called a difficulty adjustment in the Bitcoin software, which adjusts. If there are a lot of people trying to mine Bitcoin, it makes it more difficult. If there are not as many people trying to mine Bitcoin, it makes it less difficult. And this is to ensure that we get one new block added to the blockchain every roughly 10 minutes. So if there's too much hashing power and the blocks are being discovered too quickly, then there's a difficulty adjustment up. In this case, there would be a difficulty adjustment down, simply because the mining would be less competitive with all this Chinese hash power leaving. And so 2 weeks, I'm not sure where we are in that cycle, but we're around there. That difficulty adjustment will move down for the network. And then this just means that Bitcoin miners everywhere else outside of China will make even more money. They'll make money before the difficulty adjustment because there'll be less competition. All the Chinese Bitcoin miners unplug. And afterwards, the difficulty adjustment will come down and Bitcoin miners everywhere else will make even more money. And so we can see here that Bitcoin is not dependent on China. In this thought experiment, I just assumed the worst thing that could possibly happen, all the Bitcoin miners being shut down in China, the hash rate plummeting, and then the Bitcoin network would survive. It would be fine. And North American and European and South American and African Bitcoin mining operations would take over. This would actually be great if it happened, because this would mean that this sort of FUD could no longer be trotted out every couple days or every couple weeks. If we take a look at the actual hash rate, and these are estimated numbers, I think this is probably the best mining pool stats website that I found. People like Adam Back say it's the most accurate. These hash rates are adjusted, but they do give you an idea of where the hash rate was on Friday, for example, versus Sunday today. So we have a lot of these pools, Ant Pool, F2 Pool, Poolin. These are all Huobi Pool. These are all Chinese mining pools. We can see that there's been some adjustment down. It looks like Poolin has come down a little bit in the last couple of days. The hash rate has come down from about 22 down to about 20. But we're not really seeing miners unplug here. Now, these are estimated numbers. I'm not sure exactly how this is done, but I do know you need to back into these hash rate numbers. We're not seeing any drop here. Huobi Pool, which is a fairly small contributor, has dropped a significant percentage. It's dropped from about 8 exahashes down to about under 6 exahashes. But again, this is providing a very small percentage of the overall hash rate. So we're not really seeing this happening yet. But again, even if it were to happen, wouldn't matter. That the network is completely decentralized. I would say, in addition to saying China, please ban Bitcoin so we can get beyond this. I've said in previous videos, Elon, please sell all your Bitcoin. Ethereum, please move completely to proof of stake. Whales, please dump all of your Bitcoin really quickly and drive the price back to 5,000. Any of these things could happen. I would not be worried at all, though I would be delighted if we could see much lower prices. And we're really at levels here, $33,000 per Bitcoin, that I never thought we would see again. And the longer we stay down here, the longer all of us will be able to accumulate more Bitcoin and dollar cost average in. So I haven't seen anything in the last week that makes me really concerned about Bitcoin. These all seem to be irrelevant attacks, mostly attacks in the media and in government statements. And this is stuff that we've been seeing again and again. It's been recycled again and again. And ironically, it is drawing down, it's pulling down all the altcoins as well, even more than Bitcoin. And so even things like if you're worried about proof of work, you're worried about China and excessive energy usage, and you want to hide in somewhere like Ethereum or Cardano, which Ethereum moving to proof of stake, obviously, which would not be dependent on miners in China. It's ironic that they're selling off more than even Bitcoin. So these are the kind of times when, at least I'm very grateful that I only own Bitcoin and I understand what I own. And as such, I can stay on top of the news and see if there's anything that really worries me. I think we're chopping around in a very volatile price range. Volume is lower on weekends. And as a result, we're here testing, not quite testing the lows, but at the lower end of the range that we staked out last week. China mining bans, again, a useful thing you can do in life is imagine a worst case scenario and then see how you would survive under that. And this is one nice way of dealing with anxiety. What I've done in this video is assume that Bitcoin mining in China completely disappears. And maybe I'm missing something, but as far as I can tell, it would obviously scare a lot of people out, but it would not have a fundamental impact on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. And what a lot of journalists don't understand as well is that Bitcoin miners do not control the network. It's the full nodes that do. The Bitcoin miners really work for everyone else. And if Bitcoin miners try to do some funny business, if they try to make a bad block, or if they try to do a 51% attack, the full nodes on the network will reject that bad block, or they will route around a 51% attack. If you want to understand a little bit better how all the parts of the Bitcoin network work together, Bitcoin miners, Bitcoin full nodes, the large corporations and exchanges that have an influence on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin whales, I'll link to this video below. And in this video, I talk about the failed hard fork, the 2017 SegWit 2x failed hard fork. And this was a case where the miners and the large corporations really ganged up against everyone else and tried to do a hard fork in the Bitcoin software. They failed, and this really does demonstrate, it's a very important historical event, and it shows that the full nodes are in control of the Bitcoin network. And the full nodes, they really don't get discussed much. There's a lot of talk about the miners and possible centralization there. But what we have with the full nodes is the purest form of decentralization you can imagine. So if you want to learn more about that, I'll link to this video below, who actually controls Bitcoin. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.